Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One Marketing Thing podcast. Today's topic is From Hearing to Understanding, the skill of active listening in business. Hello, everyone. Again, I am your host, Antoinette Blake, and you are watching the One Marketing Thing podcast. Now, did you know that we started this podcast for digital marketers? We wanted to provide them with expert advice from industry vets with decades of experience. And today we have one of those experts. I have Corey Levin. Yes, Corey will be discussing from hearing to understanding the skill of active listening in business. I'm going to listen to this as well. So, Corey, welcome to the One Marketing Thing podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
So, before we get into that skill of listening, tell us a little bit more about yourself and that of your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a co-founder of a branding agency that's headquartered in the city of Philadelphia. It's called Truth and Consequences. And by background, I've always been involved in sales and new business development, and listening is certainly a very important aspect of that. I'm a very big believer on consultative sales, and I think that really means going in, having no preconceived notions, asking a lot of good questions, and listening. And that's really the foundation of how I've always built my approach to finding clients and partners. And if I look at some of the work that we do with our clients, it's really important that we're doing our due diligence at the upfront and really understanding the nuances of a school or a pro sports team or an organization before coming up with any ideas or recommendations on how they could be successful or reach other audiences. So listening is in my DNA and something that I'm a strong believer in.
We think about that, but have you always been a good listener, or do you remember times that someone might have said, Corey, if you hadn't just listened?
Well, I mean, if you had my mom on, I think she could tell you more. No, I think it's one of those things and one of those skills that hopefully you learn over time. And I think once I decided I really wanted to take my sales career seriously, I had worked with a sales trainer, and a lot of the foundational work in sales training comes down to being prepared, number one. Part of that is doing your homework and doing your research and coming up with questions. And the most important thing is not talking and listening and allowing the individual who you are sitting down with to tell you what their pain points are, to tell you what their challenges are. So a lot of it was learned later on for me, for sure.
And that is so important. Now, as new digital marketers are coming into the field, we have had bumps and bruises along the way. What kind of tips or things that you could share with our marketers that, I want you to spill the beans. Why? I know, because I know when you first started out, you probably, didn't do what your due diligence. And then over time, you've now mastered that, active listening and learning so that you and your client are on, target, have the same goals, and you're understanding their pain point.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's not even that glamorous, but I think what I see with a lot of different organizations or a lot of different clients where they struggle is they don't think about the end user or the target audience. They visualize themselves and they look at something through their own eyes. And I think that's where there's a lot of a disconnect. If they spent time to actually focus on the audiences who are going to be viewing something or reading something or tasting something and got their feedback or got their impression of something prior to making assumptions, it would be a lot more efficient. And I see a lot of people get there the long way, whereas if they just took the time to listen and sit down with the types of people that this product or service is geared towards and get their opinion from the offset, it would have saved them a lot of time and unfortunately sometimes a lot of money. And I think that's something that happens regularly. It's nothing that is glamorous, but that is a easy one that I can point to. And even when it comes to social media, people throwing up content that they think they would like, but in reality, it's not for them. So that's a place where I see that on a daily basis, where it's just shooting things up into the ethos and hoping that it sticks versus taking time to think and learn before putting something or posting something or shooting something, and using it as a marketing tool.
And Corey, you kept mentioning the word time, and I want to target it on that. Time. You have to take time. This is not instant, pour, shake, mix, done. You have to take the time to really sit back and be an active listener. Oftentimes, we have that goldfish mentality where we're jumping from shiny object to shiny object. But in order to be successful in your business, you have to sit back, listen, and take time to absorb it and not feel like you have the answer right away. What's your thoughts?
Completely agree. I mean, I remember at my last agency, one of the big terms we would always throw around is measure twice, cut once. And that is
Bingo.
something that you live by, when it comes to putting a print piece out, or something that is going to be, again, used for social media. You have one first impression. That's the other thing I remind people. You have one first impression, and like sometimes it can be good and sometimes it can be bad. And when it's bad, it's out there, and you're scrambling. Whereas if you just took the time, to proofread something or to spend a little bit, having an extra pair of eyes on it. A personal story. I am in charge of new business development. I'm the one who sends out proposals. I send out proposals that could be $500,000. There's a typo in a proposal that's $500,000. The reflection on the agency is that I'm going to deliver that poor quality of work for the client who I'm trying to pitch. So everything, it needs to be measured, everything needs to be looked at, because all those things aren't taken lightly.
You are so spot on, and I cannot agree more. Just taking that time, we've got. I see things on television. You see the taglines, and there's misspellings, and it's like, really, did they take the time to edit that? Did they take the time to review that? So taking the time to be an active listener. What do you want to do? Should you take a breath? I know, because our minds are running. So if someone is meeting a new client for the first time, what is there something that we could say, hey, you know what? Listen, focus, take a deep breath. I mean, and don't just jump in with, the response right away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big person on checklists. And if you have a
Bingo, there
checklist
you
with
go.
those steps, that's an easy one. You have it posted next to your computer screen, wherever
I
you're
love it.
doing your work. And that's an easy one. It could be 4 steps, but it's amazing how people would skip one of those 4 steps because something else distracted them or they are in a hurry. So checklists, I think, are a really easy way, and low tech, by the way of handling
Like
those things.
paper and pen.
Remember those things? I got,
Yes,
I have a pen around here somewhere.
I have a pencil right in my hand.
See, right there.
Right there. Corey, that is a yes. The checklist, yes. Listen up. Have a checklist. There's nothing wrong with having a checklist, and it can be paper and pen. It does not have to be a digital instrument. It doesn't have to be a smartphone, a tablet, computer, and now AI, right?
Agreed. Agreed on that front.
Corey, we appreciate you so very much, and we thank you for being here. You're just a marvel. And where are you located in Philly? Because I'm a Go Eagles fan.
Oh yeah, so we're at Second and Race is our studio space, and then our headquarters is in Radnor. So
Oh,
we're
great.
spread over. But yeah, come visit if you're in the city. Second and Race, it's in the Power Plant Productions building.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I worked in Philadelphia years ago with IBM, and
Oh sure.
yeah, I love being in Philly. So thank you, Corey, again. I appreciate you. I know you're on the time limit because you got things to do and people to meet and checklists to complete. So I want to thank you for being a guest here on the One Marketing Thing podcast. And if anyone has any questions for Corey or about the show, please send an email to editor@passionatemarketers.com. And we'd like to also thank our sponsor, Propel. And Propel is a unique review and automation and management platform. They are the #1 tool that helps small businesses convert website visits to customers. Corey, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.